What's up, guys? Welcome to Rumor Wave. Now, there's some interesting stuff going on the internet today, in particular from actually a couple different camps. We have some stuff from Microsoft about Crackdown 3 that might tell us Crackdown 3 could be bigger than we originally thought. And, of course, Star Fox. That's right, Star Fox is currently making the rounds as Retro Studios' next game. I know this is all over the place right now when it comes to this. It's very polarizing. People don't know what to think. But we're going to go through all of that. And then another piece from GameStop. Why not, right? All right, let's get started. So over the past couple of days, 4chan, I know, 4chan, yes, I know. 4chan popped up with rumors about a Star Fox racing game being handled by Retro Studios. See, we've been wondering what Retro Studios has been up to for how long now? Forever. They were teasing online quite a while. Remember, like the Prime stake thing, and we were going through that, and they were kind of teasing on Twitter last year, I think. And since then, it's been pretty quiet, kind of radio silence, and it's been most of us wondering, okay, they weren't at this event, they weren't at this event, they weren't in this direct, they weren't last year's E3. What is Retro Studios doing? Well, the latest rumor seems to be pegging them as doing a Star Fox racing game. That's right, a Star Fox racing game. At least that was the rumor on 4chan, and you know, whenever I see 4chan rumors, I go, oh, all right then. Well, it looks like it might not be as much rumor anymore, as a lot of people are starting to corroborate this, including Eurogamer, hearing from their own sources that have proven to be accurate in the past, saying that this is a thing, this is happening. And right now, gamers online have no idea what to think. So the alleged title for this Star Fox game, which Eurogamer cannot confirm or deny because they haven't heard the name specifically, is Star Fox Grand Prix. And there was this image of like a logo for, I guess, E3 that's making the rounds that seems to have notes taken about things to change, stuff like that. A lot of times when you see these leaks like that, like an actual picture of something, it's hard to get behind because it's pretty easy to fake that. You could print it up, you could make your own logo, you could, doodle your own notes on there. But apparently this is a thing, at least that's what the rumors say, Star Fox Grand Prix. Whether that's a title or not, the premise seems to be pretty much universally agreed upon by all these people who are corroborating it, and it sounds like it's going to be Star Fox mixed with F-Zero, mixed with Diddy Kong Racing. Now, what does that mean? Well, it sounds like it's going to be high-octane racing from F-Zero, but like the hub world and the boss battles from Diddy Kong. Maybe throw a few RPG elements in there. Maybe you're building up your ship or your characters, and it's supposed to be more of an adventure, but it has to do with, I guess, racing as well. So I like the idea of this, to be honest, because I do think after Star Fox's last outing, they were due for something different, but there are a lot of people online who are not happy with this and don't know what to think, and there's a lot of backlash going on right now on the internet. And honestly, I can kind of see it from their point of view too, because this just sounds crazy. Or does it? See, Star Fox has kind of been flirting with the racing genre for a while. A lot of people have pointed out that in certain epilogues of the game with endings, it seems like, for example, Fox and Falco were going to go racing. There have been people who have kind of theorized that the Star Fox universe and the F-Zero universe is one universe. There's a lot. Go look up some of these theories if you're left out of the loop on this, because they do a pretty good job connecting the dots and actually making this feel like it could be one world. But Retro Studios taking on something like this, I think also is leaving people disappointed. I think there are some that wanted them to have their own IP, something that they created. However, it's probably easier to take an IP that a lot of us know about, like a Star Fox, and try to do something different with it. And there are a lot of examples, of course, of people kind of jumping the gun, having a hot take on something that's pretty bad, or just overreacting in general. I mean, I can give you two off the top of my head, one very recent and one very old. So I'm gonna start with the recent one, Mario Rabbids, right? A lot of people said, what, Mario and the Rabbids coming together? That makes no sense, this is gonna be terrible, right? How many people online do you guys remember saying that? And then it comes out, and there's a lot of people who like the game. It was a solid game. I liked it a lot for the take it had on kind of the tactics-based genre. Of course, it pulled a lot from XCOM, but even the XCOM creator said, it's a good game, I like it. So there's a great example. I remember there was even a point where they were talking, like Grant Kirkhope and others were talking about how they were kind of affected by some of the backlash that the idea was getting from the leaks. So I'm not surprised there's backlash on this, and there could be a chance that some people kind of maybe backpedal a bit when they either see it or when they play it and they realize it's a good game. That's the thing though, we don't know anything about it, we haven't seen it, so I would at least reserve judgment until then, but I can at least understand disappointment on the side of people who wanted retro studios to be doing just something different. Now, for my older example, I'm going to take you way back to the early 2000s, like 2001. When I was online then, which I was very fortunate to be in a household that had 2 phone lines because my dad had to actually do a lot of work, telecommuting and working through a phone line. Yes, that's right. A lot of people back then were listening to what? I guess Backstreet Boys and NSYNC and stuff. I was listening to the dial-up tone to get on AOL. It's a #1 single right there. But I specifically remember online, there was a game that was coming out, and this is when the PS2 had already come out, the GameCube had just released, I remember, and the Xbox was there as well. This was all happening pretty quickly all at once. There was a game that was being rumored, and people were not happy about this game because this random company, this random studio, I should say, was coming in and was going to take a beloved franchise that was not at all a first-person shooter and turn it into that. And that was Metroid, going into Metroid Prime. People were very, very upset about that, wrote it off completely. It's not our Metroid, I'm not going to like it. And well, now we see what kind of interest and excitement something like a Metroid Prime 4 can get. Nope, no one excited for that at all. Not even a little bit. Sure, hindsight's 2020, but still, it just goes to show you that people jumping to conclusions over rumors, leaks, and speculation, well, it doesn't always turn out to be correct. So none of this is confirmed yet for Star Fox Racing, Star Fox Grand Prix, but it's interesting to note and it's interesting to keep an eye on. And again, I would at least wait until you see something about it and then make a judgment on it. You know, then go, okay, this isn't for me. I don't like this direction. But some people might end up being surprised. I like Diddy Kong Racing, and I liked F-Zero, and I like Star Fox. So if you want to throw all that in a mixing pot and come out with something really cool, something interesting, something maybe even massive when it comes to the world building, yeah, I'm in for that. Next up, let's talk about GameStop pretending to leak something. I don't know. Is that what this is? Here's what happened. Pictures started making the rounds. I saw this originally on a Twitter post that someone sent to me from AugMC, where they posted up I don't know if this is their image or they found it online or something. GameStop putting up Call of Duty Black Ops 4 box art in a Switch case. And of course, a lot of people then thought, hey, you know, Call of Duty Black Ops 4 is happening. I'm not going to say it's not happening because we've seen Nintendo hold off Call of Duty announcements before for E3, so I can't tell you yes or no if it's happening or if a different Call of Duty is coming. You know, we heard about the single-player one. It's possible. But I will say, even when I worked at GameStop, there were times we ran out of cases for a certain game, and we actually pulled cases from other systems and put box art in it. And, you know, it was probably bad because I'm sure it was confusing, and I'm sure this has happened. However, it is at the top of the Switch section, and while it doesn't have Switch logos on it, it's still, I get why people would see this and say, oh, you know, Switch Call of Duty Black Ops 4 is happening, right? It's the way it is, I guess. But that's not always the case, and trust me, there are other GameStop employees that are posting on the Reddit saying this looks like a mistake, they just did marketing, nothing about a Switch version of Black Ops 4. So I don't think this is correct. I don't think GameStop at least knows about it. This is just probably employees who maybe mocked this up and put it out, or just maybe they want to try to get some interest drummed up for it in their area for pre-orders. If it does happen, sounds like speculation on the employees' part, or hey, maybe they really did just run out of box art, boxes, I guess, for like one of the other versions. Who knows, really? Next up, let's talk about Crackdown 3. It's been confusing to a lot of us, as we first heard about, I believe, back in 2014, then later on saw gameplay, and then it kind of went radio silent. It was supposed to come out in November alongside the X, but then got pushed back, and we still don't really know much about it since the last time we saw the gameplay. I believe it was at a Gamescom where they showed off some of the footage of the buildings falling and stuff, but it's been a while since we've seen it. And a recent leak on Reddit, there was a screen cap going all over the place saying that, well, they pushed it back because they wanted to put more money, that's right, more money into the game and kind of open it up and try to build just a better game in general, the leak says. Without going into any kind of specifics, what I learned is that Crackdown 3 is a bigger game than I thought it would be. And you know, I already always was pretty hyped about it, both in terms of content scope and budget. Contrary to what I've read here, the game without a doubt could have been released in November. There was primary one big voice within Microsoft stopping this though, and the budget of the project once more got raised significantly. This is their personal annotation here, as you see. While the name was never written, I think he indeed meant Phil, to make sure the IP stays relevant in the future. The additional development time wasn't used for just polishing. It also allowed both Sumo and Ruffian to add more features to the two distinct game modes. So this is a big potential leak here because we assume we're going to see something about Crackdown 3 in, less than a month now at E3. Phil Spencer has even said it's on track, everything looks good, and it makes me honestly wonder if this is correct. Maybe it wasn't pushed back for technical limitations like I've even thought up until now, thinking that game is in some serious trouble. What if they really do show up at E3 and they blow the doors off the place with this game? Is that possible? What if the cloud is running exactly as they say it is, and the single player was opened up to be that much more interesting? I'm not really sure what they could do, maybe just a more expansive world in general. But what if they really do show up and they did push it back to just dump more money into it? I mean, Phil Spencer has more say now that he's been added to the big seat at the table there with all the adults at Microsoft when he was added on to the big board and everything. So maybe he does have some more power, maybe some more money became free a little beforehand, and they were like, you know what, let's push this back, let's make a better game. I like the idea of that, but it also kind of flies right in the face of what they're trying to do, which is games as a service, games that evolve over time. I mean, Sea of Thieves is a perfect example of this. They probably could have pushed that back and released it with more content, but instead they released it on the Game Pass, and they're going to be updating it going forward. So this is weird because it's kind of contrary to what they're trying to do. But hey, honestly, if they're going to release an awesome game with the Crackdown series, I am like all for it. And guys, that's going to do it for Rumor Wave today. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you guys hit that like button. If not, hit the dislike. Leave comments down below. I know Star Fox is like a massively polarizing subject right now. Whether it's happening or not, the idea of a Star Fox racing game with a hub world and possible, I guess, RPG elements and boss battles and all this stuff, some people like the idea, and other people are just annoyed because that also means that F-Zero might not fit into plans right now either, since then they're trying to make a game that's much more different than something like a Mario Kart. But what if, and this is something I thought about, what if Nintendo really did want to kind of, I guess, reinforce the idea of F-Zero and Star Fox being in the same universe? What if Captain Falcon is a part of this Star Fox game? Would that blow people's minds? Like, what if he was like a character that shows up in the game and all of a sudden he's controllable? That might honestly take people's frustration with this game from being annoyed to just being super excited for it. Let me know what you guys think about all of this. Seriously, that Crackdown 3's possible big budget and Call of Duty showing up at a GameStop. Do you think that's just a mistake? Or do you think there is a plan for Call of Duty Black Ops 4 or another Call of Duty just showing up at E3 in general? Let me know your guys' thoughts down below. Make sure you get subscribed for all things gaming, technology, and news related. And I will see you guys in the next video.